Well, hello, good evening everyone. Once again, welcome. Very warm welcome to today's evening reflection, tonight's talk. And the topic that we are going to reflect on today is beyond burnout. I don't know if you were here for meditation. Some of you were here for the meditation from 6 to 6:30. You were experiencing a little burnout with the usual monitor we use. So we had to switch to the new one. But just a few thoughts on burnout that came to mind were, to me, I feel it's more to do with the resilience, right? We need to, in some sense, work to build the resilience within us, right? For an example, if we think about a stainless steel spoon or something, if it gets bent, if it's out of shape, it's hard to get it back to its original shape. It requires some force, requires some effort. Whereas if it's a rubber band, no matter how you stretch it, of course there's a breaking point for that too, but it's more flexible. So it can easily bounce back to its original state. So, the time it burns out is more as compared to something else. So to me, I feel it's more about building that resilience within us. So today, Sister Rona will be taking us through that reflection. And hopefully after the talk, we can take this wisdom with us and put it into action. So very warm welcome once again.
Hello again. Stress and burnout. These have become such common words today. And it has become so common that we actually think it is normal to be stressed. And there's actually, in our language, when we say, "How are you?" what do we say? We say, "I'm good," or we say, "Busy." busy. And sometimes it has become so normal and natural that we feel if we are not busy, something is wrong. Or one time we were having a retreat, this is many years ago, in the headquarters of the Brahma Kumaris. We had a retreat for 2 weeks or so. And we had the assignment to every day 1 hour do nothing. And that was the most difficult thing to do. You can't read, you can't write, you can't talk, you can do nothing. And it was such a deep realization for me we kind of create an identity and we create a sense of self based on doing, based on actions. And if we are not in action, we're not doing, then we feel nothing is happening, boring, or, I'm nothing. So this whole concept of action and being in action, nothing wrong with action, but we can become slaves to action. And then we can't stop it. But anything needs a break. Your car, can you go on for 48 hours ongoing or 100 hours? It needs to stop. We need to calibrate. We need to balance. You need to come back to some basic, balanced state, a neutral state. But somehow in our present day life and our present day society, we have lost that ability to take a break or to slow down or to do nothing. Just to do nothing without feeling guilty, without feeling useless. or to just sit and, how do we call that? To just muse, to reflect quietly on things that are of essence also to us. Now, burnout has to do with not being able to take a break. Burnout has to do with not being able to say, okay, tomorrow this pile will still be there. All these emails, they will still be there tomorrow. All these texts, the world will not discontinue just because I did not check some emails or did not respond. Somehow we have created within us this madness of ongoing, going, this pressure. And maybe it is triggered by others, or by work, or by deadlines, but we have adopted it and we have created within ourselves this idea that we have to. We have to. Who stops work when they walk out of, when they you close your computer? It stops? Or it continues here? So maybe our working hours are 8 to 9 hours, but we take our work home in here. We take our work on the subway in here. We take our work even sometimes in our sleep. That is what much of the burnout is about. We don't have the power to stop when we could stop. There is some funny drive that makes us go on and on and on and on. For whatever reason, for whatever imagined reason, sometimes also. Now what can you do? What can we do to stop? Get in touch with who you are outside of that feeling. Very good. Any other thoughts? Come here. Welcome.
Meditate.
Yeah, very good, yeah.
Yeah, just like do nothing.
Do nothing. Really do nothing. Many years ago when I was working in a psychiatric unit at that time, and there were too many meetings, useless I felt, but too many meetings, and you have to be in the meetings all the time. And I would just go to the bathroom to take 3 minutes break. Or in between if you're meeting people or interacting with people, in between patients. Underneath the desk I used to have at that time it was cassette and a music device. So one patient leaves the room, I would put on some music for 1 minute. Get my, get everything out of my mind. For 1 minute, as if come back to zero. And then, again, come back. It is as if you give your mind space to breathe, time to breathe. And we have lost this habit, this tendency, we have lost this art to do this. And somehow we feel we can't. Somehow we do not allow ourselves the time to just do nothing, even if it is for a minute. Now, why do we do that to ourselves? It's okay. Why do we do that to ourselves?
Because we place our value on how much we get done, how productive we are.
We get a sense of value based on how productive we are. We're perfectionists. But actually we're undermining ourselves. Are you more productive as we are burnout?
I think it can be scary.
It can be scary to just stop. Unknown.
So I was gonna say that maybe.
Yeah,
I was gonna say maybe like we feel we haven't earned it.
Maybe we feel we haven't earned it. Interesting.
Conditioning, that's all we know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah.
That is what we know.
And doing anything different would seem unexpected or just scary. So we don't do it. We're just stuck in that hamster wheel.
Yeah. Very useful to realize. We are, what is it? Herd. What is it? Herd mentality. And we just do what everybody does and what we have always done. And we complain and we feel heavy and tired, but we still continue to do what we have always done and what everybody does and how we think it has to be done. But there are other options. There is a there is this story. I'll tell a short story. You like stories? Everybody likes stories, no? We're kind of made for stories, even though we are adults. There was this man who had a dream. And in his dream, God appears. And God tells him, "You want to be rich?" He said, "Yes, of course, I want to be rich." So God tells him, "Okay, go to that mountain, upstate New York, some mountain." And he shows him that vision of that mountain. And there is a man sitting there. And he tells him, "Go to that man, and that man will give you a stone. And that stone will make you the richest person in Manhattan." And he wakes up. But the dream was so real, he thought, "I better go check it out." So he takes his car on the weekend and he goes to that place in the Catskill Mountains, and sure enough, there's a man sitting underneath a tree. So he says, "Stone, stone, give me my stone." And the man looks at him, "What are you talking about?" "Stone, God told me you'll give me a stone and that stone will make me rich." He says, "Oh, I now understand. Go to that creek on its shores, near a tree, you will find a big stone. Take it, it is yours. It will make you rich." So he goes there, and there is, sure enough, a huge stone, but it's actually a diamond. Huge diamond. So he takes off his jacket, he covers it, puts it in his car, and he drives back to Manhattan, feeling on top of the world and the richest person in the city. So after two weeks, he goes back. He carries that stone with him. He goes back, search for that man, and the man sitting there, peaceful, meditating. And he throws the stone and he says, "Here, your stone. I don't want it." And the man looks at him, "Why?" And he said, "Didn't you want to be rich?" "Yes, yes, yes, but I haven't slept for 2 weeks. I had to put extra lock on my apartment. I had to put some bars and grills in front of the window. I couldn't go to work. I'm about to lose my job. My boss is angry with me. I had to watch over this diamond. And even my mother, I feel she is having her eyes on this diamond. I don't want this diamond. What I want is what you have." And he says, "I don't have anything I gave you. No, 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 I want that treasure that you have. What is that treasure?
Peace of mind.
That peace of mind, that treasure that allowed you to give away the diamond. I want that treasure that makes you peaceful and happy with or without a diamond. That treasure is what I want. And I think that mindset is the mindset that frees us from stress. We are happy to do, we are happy not to do. Because your inner sense of value is not based on the action or the achievement of the action. That sense of value, that sense of self-respect, that sense of beauty and greatness that you feel from who you are is independent from actions performed or the compliments you get from others. Then you are master inside. But at this moment in time, we have created a culture worldwide that has, that has created a sense of self and a sense of value that is based on what we do and what we have and who we have around us, instead of who we are on the inside, what we stand for, and our principles, and our beauty, and our skills, and our abilities inside. And so to shift our attention more on ourselves, that is one big, not stress management skill, but a stress prevention skill. Let's go to the board. Hello everyone in Zoom also. Can you see the board? Everyone can see the board. We all strive for a certain quality of life. We all want a good quality of life. And we strive for that, and some of us work very hard for that. We study, we train, we work with the aim to have a good quality of life. And nothing wrong with hard work, nothing wrong with those aims. But we overlook often quality of inner life. And so quality of external life we measure by what? Do I have an apartment of my own or a house of my own? Do I have my car? Do I have a bank account? Is my credit good enough? Can I go on holidays? And I have a computer that I want. And we measure quality of life by those type of things. I have a relationship or I have a family. We measure the quality of life with these, and we strive for them. And we work hard for those type of things. But a deeper sense of quality of life has to do with this mindset that man who can give away the diamond has. What about your inner peace? What about a deeper sense of gratitude and contentment? What about a mindset that always is learning? Sometimes I ask, those who have heard me ask cannot answer. What is this? No, you cannot say. What is this? Jillian must know also. Jillian cannot say. What is this? A hand? What else?
Miracle.
You cannot say if you have heard this before. Did you hear what she said? No. Okay, good. So what is this? Is energy? Okay, very good. Anything else? Is it anything else? It represents the body. Very good. All of this is very good. It is also a miracle, isn't it? So what is this? Another miracle. Another miracle. You know, you cut it, it starts healing by itself. You can use it to stroke, you can use it to grab something, you can touch, you can give comfort with it. It's a miracle. What is this? More miracles. Another miracle here, the eye. What is this? A man-made miracle. I don't know how it works. I speak in here and these people on Zoom, wherever they are, some are in, I don't know, Virginia and wherever, they're hearing. I don't know how it works. A man-made miracle. We are surrounded by miracles. Do you wake up in the morning and you say, wow, so many miracles? You say, oh gosh, again, I have to go to my work and this boss, horrible. This mindset of seeing miracles, this mindset of seeing the wonders and the beauty of things, it is a shift in perspective. This is one of the biggest stress prevention strategies that you could do. But it requires a little bit of attention, and it requires that we shed this herd mentality that we have, and to open our eyes to truly see and approach things differently. Now, if this is us, simplified, I cannot draw very well. And then our life is an interaction between the self and our environment. No? So, self and the body, the self and your job, between self and your boss. This is the boss. And your friends and family and the people around you and the objects. This is supposed to be a house. You can an interaction between you and your Facebook account and your social your social media activities, interaction between you and your financial situations, your culture, what is it? The community the communities that you belong to, the language, the country. This is our life, and I am as if at the center of it, the experiencer of all of it, and the one who is interacting. It's an exchange, an interaction with all of it. Now, sometimes there is a mismatch. I'll say some mismatch between me and my boss. And this mismatch is, often it is I have certain expectations, certain needs, or certain desires, and they are not fulfilled by the boss in this interaction. There are other interactions, but in this interaction. So stress comes when we have certain needs and desires or expectations and we are not sure if they will be fulfilled. And when they are not fulfilled, we are disillusioned, we are disappointed, and then we can get annoyed or angry or depressed and sad. But stress is that state where there is insecurity, when there is anxiety because you're not sure what will happen. So there is this mismatch because of you're either not sure or maybe even further you are sure but it is not being fulfilled. And that can put us in a spiral of negative emotions. And it can go overboard. One of the things that can happen is that we start producing or overly active to achieve, to produce, to show that we can do it, just to try and convince the boss that I am good enough and that he should fulfill my needs or he should fulfill my desires. But this can become an endless spiral of expectations, desires, needs, and it gets fulfilled or not fulfilled or temporarily fulfilled or unsure that you are being fulfilled, and then something gets fulfilled and other things are not. How would you call this? How would you describe this kind of relationship? Anxiously attached. Disharmony. Toxic. Conditional.
Codependency.
Codependency.
Codependent.
Yeah. Any other? Samsaric. It's like circle. It goes in a circle, endless circle. Vicious circle. I would call it bondage or jail. I mean, it's not a physical jail, but you are mentally stuck in a dynamic that is like jail. Bondage. So, dependency, yes, definitely. This is definitely toxic, for sure. Not healthy. Not healthy. And what do we normally do to try and get out of this? At least? Numb yourself. Trying to numb yourself, yeah. Oh,
Get another job.
We have plenty of alcohol to numb ourselves. Alcohol and other things.
Change your job.
Many times that is what we do. There is a mismatch with the boss, so we change our boss. Change the boss, change the job. What happens then? Break up. No, this is part of our herd mentality approach to life. We don't like, there's a mismatch, we change the boss. There is change the job. There is a mismatch, and we just try to change external thing. The mismatch with the partner, change the partner. But it is an exchange. Yeah, for example, There are two sides. There is the there is the boss or the job, but there's also me. I can change this or I can change this. Maybe I can explore to change this. Now what can I change then? Lower the expectations, or maybe even finish some neediness, finish some desires inside, or at least lower them. If we have less or no expectations, that frees you from the anxiety about the result.
What if you have an expectation of a quality of life that you want to live?
That expectation can be for yourself, and you do what you think is right. But if you expect things from others, you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable situation. Not only if you expect them from others, anything in this world, it can change anytime. Isn't it? Well, we have many examples of that. So something that can change anytime, if you have expectations of it, you're very vulnerable.
But then how do we exist in this society where you aren't just one person, that you have friendships or family?
Friendships or family, how do you exist in a society like this? Yeah. What is the opposite of expectation and desire and need? Detachment, contentment, giving. Very good. I can either be in a position that I need, or I can be in a position that I give. And maybe life is meant for giving. But we have somehow grown into a mental mindset where we feel we need, and we feel we desire, and we feel we expect. And we are putting ourselves down because we are not allowing ourselves to see our beauty and our truth and our greatness and our potential and our power. So if I position myself in life with this needy, expecting, desiring, wanting, needing, expecting, desiring, wanting mindset, I'm very vulnerable. And I will be very often very anxious because my expectations and desires might not be met. Even if you negotiate, there is no guarantee you will get. We're in a kind of a victim mode. And a victim mode is always unsure. And that insecurity and that unsure makes us stressed. Whilst if I position myself in this world and in this life to learn, for example, or to give, what can I add? Now they did this sociological behavioral research a lot in the 70s and the 80s. And one of those researches was they observe human behavior and human attitude in social gatherings. And so people come into that social gathering with a certain mindset, a certain attitude. And they say there are 3 types of attitudes that people have. One attitude, person comes in, he looks around and thinks, what can I get here? What is here for me? Even if I have to take it, what here can I get? Second type of person, second type of mindset, second type of attitude is person comes in and starts to complain. Why is this light like that? Why is the chair so white? Why are there no color on the walls? Why is people sitting like this? Complaining and criticizing. Second mindset. Third mindset, person comes in and thinks, how can I cooperate? What can I contribute? How can I add? And this is very interesting because it was a study of 20 years. They followed people every 3 months or so for their live events, follow up with that certain attitude. And who do you think of these 3 categories had the least stress in their life? The third one. Who do you think of these 3 categories of people had the most satisfactory job circumstances and job achievements? The third one. Who had the most satisfactory relationships, long-term relationships? The third one. Who was the worst? Actually, the second. The one who is complaining all the time. And even in terms of health, the third one was overall better. And so this is, at least for me, it was very useful to understand this. There is this inner life and an inner attitude and an approach to life. And there is an external life. And they are connected. Quality of both is connected. But external quality of life doesn't guarantee inner quality of life. There was a time that we went to a program, and on the way to that program we stopped by some friends of the institution. And this was a lady, this was in England, married to someone from the aristocratic background, so this huge, almost like castle they live in. And she has lots of servants, people who help. She has brilliant husband and 3 brilliant sons who study in the best universities in Europe. Rich, well-to-do, everything goes well on the outside, no? And so you think this is a good life, nice lady, very privileged. We were there little less than half an hour, and it was almost like torture. She was complaining all the time about anything and everything and anyone and everyone. So I felt a little bit relieved, no, when we could go. But she cannot go. She is with herself all the time. No? We can leave, but she, wherever she goes, she carries that mind with her. In the program, there was a boy. Later when we went to that program, there was a boy in the first row on the side in a wheelchair. And this boy was in his early 20s, and he was paralyzed through an accident from his head down at the age of 8. He was sitting there and he was smiling all the time. His eyes were sparkling. And after the lecture he comes up and he says, life is a miracle and every moment is a gift from God. And it stayed in my mind because it was such a contrast with this lady. What is this boy's external life expectancy in terms of external possibilities? Very little. But he said later on also, it was told to him that he would have died long time ago. He's in his early 20s. He said, every moment is a gift. Every moment is a miracle. And I enjoy every interaction as a gift. And this lady has everything. But inside is hell. So to go beyond burnout, to go beyond stress, we need to attend to our mindset and our inner attitude. And because we don't do that, we try to compensate with external things and fulfilling external needs. And to some extent that is necessary. No, it's not that you now go sit on the pavement and do nothing. Some food, some clothing, some shelter, some interaction is required. But we go overboard because of this perceived sense of inner emptiness. Because we are not empty. We are not needy, but we haven't addressed, we haven't explored. We haven't done nothing to meet ourselves on the inside.
Thank you. Where are the situations where in the process of changing yourself, you actually do need to change some of these things in terms of, like, let's say, the people who you surround yourself with? And so, in the example that you were saying, like, if this lady was your best friend, and right, you're trying to be more positive or lessen those kind of like lower state pieces, like, there seems like there is a piece of like your external environment that influence, like, that you maybe if you're really great, like, you can figure it all out, but like, right, that you sometimes need to like be like, stay away.
Friendship stays, no, but the inner circle, your inner circle might shift because your interests may shift and your choices may shift. But my friends from 40 years ago, they are still my friends. But they have some of them have other priorities and I have other. But when we meet, we are nice, have a good time. But they're not part of my inner circle anymore. But at the same time, you always have choice, no? Be sensible with the company you choose. Be sensible with the people you surround yourself with. Company does, it influences us. Who you think of, what you think of, what your conversation is all about. And for some you don't have choice. But for those who you do have choice, choose wisely. Yeah. And
You answered it. I was going to ask, like, what about the more permanent?
yeah, what about the more permanent connections?
Not like my mom or anything, but
Not only my mom. No, of course, your mother you cannot choose. And but there are many moments you can choose, and many people that you can choose, and choose wisely. With whom you spend time, with whom you interact. But above all, spend time with yourself. Get to know who you truly are and begin to appreciate the beauty of what you have inside. And that is much of our plight these days. We have been running away from ourselves. And that is why doing nothing is such a horror, because then I'm with who am I then? Any other thoughts from this before we move on to the...
How else would you sort of...
Yeah, how else can we live? Yeah, okay. Our approach to life can be a different approach, no? And not one of needing or victim or beggar or jail. And the spiritual perspective, the spiritual approach, which I feel is very useful for anyone to experiment with, is those who were there in the meditation have heard it. Normally, when we think of ourselves in terms of our physical form, our body. Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but we think of ourselves in terms of our physical form. We think of ourselves in terms of all the extensions and the things and the people around us, and we think this is me. And my value, my respect, my worthiness is based on these things. The spiritual perspective is very different. It says, you are a being of consciousness, an invisible experiencer. The word soul or spirit is used for that. This word human being indicates that human is this and the being is consciousness. And consciousness has certain faculties, the mind, the intellect, and the impressions, or your tendencies, impressions or tendencies. There is a Sanskrit word for this which is called sanskars, inclinations that we carry. These are faculties of the being, the soul. So your thoughts, your attitude, your awareness, your intentions, your inclinations, they belong to the non-physical, the invisible part that is you, the soul. But because this is invisible, we tend to forget this, and we think of ourselves as that. And so our sense of self and our sense of our self-worth is based on all this. It's based on the body, the bodily, appearance, or the gender, or the ethnicity, or the things and the people I have around me, or the achievements. We base our sense of self on that. Spirituality says all of this is extra. It is temporary and it is extra. And it can change, and it can change anytime, and it doesn't ask your permission to change. The solid basis of who you are is this being of consciousness, the soul. The one who can think, the one who is innately divine. Innately, you have this higher nature and this divine potential of peace, of wisdom, of love, of purity, of freedom, of power. But because we forget, and we start to think, I am this, and I need this, and I need this to be of value. I need this, and I need this to be loved. I need and I need this to be happy, and I need this to be peaceful. But all of these things are very, very vulnerable. One of my good friends, one time we were together and we were on, traveling together. And morning she wakes up and she looks in the mirror to get her hair ready, and she is like horrified because she has a gray hair. if your sense of beauty or your sense of loveliness is based on the color of your hair, then gray hair are horrifying. But who can prevent gray hairs? No one. Yeah, you can paint it, but it's still there underneath the paint. Doesn't mean you're any less. But if your sense of self is based on physical appearance, then you will feel your self-respect has gotten a punch. Meditation is about more and more coming into the awareness of the self as a soul, a spiritual being, a being of peace, a being of wisdom, a being of power, a traveler through time and space. And this body is an extra vehicle, temporary miracle that you get to play with. But it doesn't define who you are innately. And we use this body not to take, but we can use this body to share peace, to share love, to share wisdom, to share power, to share insight. You can use this body to play the game of human life. Very different from this one. Same world, same life, but internal attitude and internal approach is different. You want to say anything? Ask anything?
Why do we have to just like go through all this? Like, why are we not just in the red, you know, and like the suffering that a lot of people go through to like bring them to this path and go through it? So I'm just curious how you make sense of that.
And there are many, many questions and many, many answers. And we just have 6 more minutes. And I would love to sit and discuss and share and hear and interact more. But to get deeper answers also, more answers, it is a journey. It is not something for one day lecture, that's it. There are courses that we offer, and there are lots more to learn and to deepen. So you're most welcome to explore that. But short answer, hopefully within the time frame we have. First of all, I will answer, but first of all, why is not really important at this moment. More important is how do we get out. We are in this position at the moment. We find ourselves in the condition we are in. We find ourselves in this, what is called in Raj Yoga, this body conscious state, this limited state of consciousness. We find ourselves in that. And we find ourselves in a world that is ruled by that limited consciousness and that limited perspective. So if that is the present situation, how do I get out is much more important to focus our time and attention to. But there are reasons why. And we can learn from that, yeah, definitely. But one simple reason is we collectively have forgotten. Say, for example, if you say you were born in India, maybe in a village, and you move to New York City. The village had its own dynamics and the own way of life. But you come to New York City, very different, but also very exciting. And a lot of glitter and glamour, and so lots of attractions and lots of excitements. And you get involved in that, and over the years, gradually, you forget. Over time, you forget. And you become so used to this new, different thing. It is there, but we need to remember. So all of these things that I have talked about is not that you don't know, but it is not, how to say, it is not on the top of our awareness. We have as if layers and layers of other things have overshadowed the essence of who we are. And we haven't taken time to remember. We haven't taken time to come back to that essence of who we are. This is why we said, not just 1 hour doing nothing to discover who you truly are inside. And so one way to understand meditation is to remember who you truly are. And to go behind all these layers of the ego-based living, ego-based thinking, this limited, false, identities that we have created. To come out of this needy mode. There is more, but that's not for today. Actually, on the wall there, whenever you have time or another time when you come, there is this cycle, if you have seen, and on top is what time is it. And it gives an insight in the different time eras of humanity from a spiritual perspective. And there was a time when humanity was soul conscious. But we have all now entered in a time and we have created a world that is utterly stuck in material consciousness. And that makes us burned out, stressed out, anxious, sad also, and vulnerable. But that is not our natural state. It is not our innate state. That is why we don't feel good with it either. But we do not necessarily have the clue how to get out. And meditation is one way to start getting insights in how to transcend this suffocating state that we have become used to even. There is a nice story. You like stories? One more story? Some of you have heard this story because I like to tell this story often. It is the story of an eagle's egg. And that eagle's egg gets mixed with a chicken's egg. But mother chicken has a big heart. She doesn't discriminate. All the eggs, she breeds them, and these little chicks hatch. And so one day this little chick is walking around the yard, scratching, looking for worms, and mother has taught him how to scratch around and sleep in the chicken coop at night. So he behaves like a good chicken and he scratches around the yard, and there is a big shadow, huge shadow. So he looks up and he sees this big bird flying, and he's fascinated. So he's asking his brother, what is that? And his brother said, that is the king of the birds. He can fly and he plays with the clouds. He goes over the mountain, he sees the ocean. He's eagle. So this little one says, I also want to fly. So his brother said, no, 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 no. We are chicken. Cannot fly. And so this little one is not convinced. He said, I want to fly. So the next day again, he's in the yard scratching around. Again this shadow. And again this bird, this majestic bird. And he tries, he flaps his wings. And it goes, but he falls. He is not trained, muscles are weak. So he goes up and he falls, he goes up and he falls. And his brother comes and sees him and he says, hey dummy, didn't I tell you, we are chicken. We are birds of the ground. We cannot fly. Stop this nonsense. Come, come, come. We have to look for worms and grains and sleep in the chicken coop. So he looks at this bird and he looks at his brother and he looks at the bird and he looks at his brother and he thinks, I'm a chicken. I cannot fly. So he goes with his brother, he looks for worms and grains and he sleeps in the chicken coop and he does his best and he becomes the king of the chicken. But every time when he sees that shadow and that bird, he wishes he could fly. But he was that eagle's egg. So, this is our story. You are the eagle's egg. But there are many chicken telling you, you cannot fly, you are chicken. And there are many chicken outside telling you, you are chicken. But there are many chicken inside here telling you, you are chicken. You can't fly. Meditation is about discovering that you could always fly. You just need to flap your wings. And stop listening to the to the chicken. The thing is, a chicken is happy being a chicken. A chicken will be what is it? In bliss if he becomes the king of the chicken. An eagle will be happy, but he will always feel something is missing. But an eagle who believes he is a chicken is also stuck. But the eagle who knows he is eagle, he can fly and he can come play with the chicken. We are these angels' eggs. Not just eagles, we are angels' eggs. We are God's eggs. We are divine beings. But we have conformed ourselves to the chicken and the chicken coop. And everybody telling you, you're chicken. Behave like a chicken. And I'll give you some extra chocolates if you behave well. And then we work hard for extra chocolate. No? So next time we meet, all flying. Okay. Yeah, welcome. Anyone want to say anything before we close? So start with every day. Take 5 minutes. Stop and come back to the essence of who you are. Start your day with that. What is truly important for you? And generate this attitude of learning from life instead of suffering. Every situation has something to offer you. Let it enrich you, and you enrich. And if you are so inclined, then explore a bit further the spiritual wisdom and the practice of meditation. Okay, I've seen quite a few new faces. This place is a meditation center that has been around since 1996. We have opening hours. You can always come in. There is upstairs, there is a meditation room. Feel free to make use of it if you're in the neighborhood, if you want just a few minutes or even some longer meditations. We have Tuesday sessions and we have Thursday sessions, and the Thursday, the first half hour from 6 to 6:30 is with guided meditation, so that you can get a feel of what is possible and becoming quiet. There are mini retreats that we have once a month. We have workshops once a month in the weekends. We have meditation courses. If you have interest for that, this month we have meditation courses by appointment, and next month we will have a group course again. So visit our website or take a flyer from the desk. If you want to continue, there is also, we have in upstate New York, we have a retreat center where there are weekend retreats, so you can get an experience of a spiritual community and a retreat in that setting. Oh, possibilities are endless. Feel free. Most welcome. Okay, let's close with a minute of silence. Thank you. Very good. See the funniness of things. Okay. And if you have, if you